Team, good to see you. What we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at something I have discovered that is relatively new. All right, so we're going to have a look. It's a feature that I've discovered in Canva, and we might be familiar with Canva, but I'm just going to jump in there very quickly and show you something that I think is pretty cool. So share this tab. Here we go. Now we're in Canva here. I'm going to go into the home button. Let's just go to home. Here we are. So we're in home. Now, ordinarily, you look at this and you go, okay, this is really good. And there's a whole bunch of things that we can do. But if we have a look just at this education bit, just for a second. So where it says education, so you've got all of these options, right? But we're just going to have a look at education, okay? And in the education section, again, you've got those same possible design options that we had before. But in here, you'll notice that they've got some presets. So they've got lessons preset, Google Classroom headers, worksheets preset, education presentations, education videos, education infographics. They've got all of these formats preset, okay? Brainstorms, mind maps, etc. Now that's pretty cool, but they've also then got some templates, which we're familiar with from previous non-education version of Canva. But in here, look at this. This is generate activities. So we just try this because I tried this just before, and you click on try magic activities, and this is what it comes up with. So in here, this is AI, right? You can describe what topic your students are going to work on, and it will create automatically some activities based on what you've said. So what sorts of activities could it create? Closed reading activities, evidence-based reasoning, expansion, essay planning, comparing, guided research, exploring perspectives. Here we go, data-based decision-making, timelines, research and connect. So all of these things are possible, and you can just click on any one you want, and it will create that for you, right? Or you can type in there. So there's a couple that I did a few hours ago just to test to see how it all looked. So I'll jump into this one, all right? Now, this here is a comparison about free trade and protectionism. So what I wanted it to do is to create an activity for the learners where they had to investigate the idea of free trade versus protectionism, okay? So what you get when you ask Canva to produce it is you get a teacher guide, how to use, right? How to add more information to it. Then it gives the students an introduction, some tips, a text here that they can read, right? You can add and change the text should you wish, defining the research process, telling the students what to do. So here, write your research focus, and you write it in there, all right? Research questions, what are your research questions? And again, you can put them in there, adding columns as needed. Down in here, the research and analysis, the different sources, write them in there. Here, you're actually able to create a one-page infographic answering the research questions, and it all puts it in there for you. Again, reflections, how did you find, what did you think, and you get that as well. Now, obviously, you can add extra materials into it, but the really cool thing, right, now you do all of that, and that's pretty clever, but you go up here, up to the top right here, and it says assign. Now, this is different from share. You've got to understand that. If I click on assign, right, it's going to ask me how would I like to share with the students, and it says assign with link. There are other options here, assign in Canva, assign in Google Classrooms, but if you click assign via link and we go continue, then what it does is it gets a link ready for this activity, and you can give that link to your students, and then it will create an individual based assessment for each student that you give the link to. So they're not all working on the same document. I think that's absolutely fantastic. There you can go to their classwork, you can copy it, you can deactivate the link. There's a little bit more information. So that I think is pretty cool, all right? Now, that's just one of the aspects there that I've tried. If I go back here, let's go back, all right, go back into here. This was another one that I did. I just wanted to see what the different activities were. So this one's more of a map process. So this is a whiteboard, and then you zoom into it. Okay. And in this case, it is asking you your opinions, all right, about a particular case study. So they've given you a case study here. You're supposed to talk about the individual stakeholders within the case study and then put your feedback in here, like it's a post-it note. Okay, and you can add more post-it notes, and you put your thoughts in there. All right, same idea, more or less down here, giving them time to reflect. One thing I noticed. All right, then there's this one. This was kind of cool. Share what you learned. So this is maybe a bit young for a lot of my learners, but writing a postcard. Okay, I can see that one. But the other one, this was quite interesting. This was here, all right, creating a group chat. So like you'd have online, but they write their messages in. It's kind of cool, okay? And then they just type it into there, all right? And again, you've still got that same assign button, so it can go to an individual learner as their own individual work. I mean, quite clearly, they're going to have to connect to Canva to do it, but that is pretty outstanding. I'm really, really impressed with that. So I wanted to show you that. I thought that would be a pretty cool thing for you to see. Not sure if you've seen that already. Otherwise, team, hei kōrera, have a fantastic day. I will